Assalamualaikum. My name is Amir Farhan bin Kamarul Faizal from SR2433A. Today, me and our group mate we present about the sport skill analysis comparison between an athlete and novice volleyball in the spiking technique. So, for the introduction, volleyball is a game that is played by two teams. Usually, there is a 6 player on each side. Which player use their hand to bat a ball back and forth over the high net. A team is allowed only 3 touches of the ball before it must be returned over the net to the opponent. Volleyball was introduced into Europe by American troops during World War I, when national organizations were formed. The Fédération Internationale de Volleyball was organized in Paris 1947 and moved to Lausanne, Switzerland in 1984. The USVBA was one of the 13 charter members of the FIVB, whose membership grew to more than 210 members countries by the late 20th century. So, to win the volleyball game, you need to earn 2 points more than your opponent. So, for the movement of the skill, the spiking. The volleyball spike is a complex motion that can be categorized in 4 phases: approach phase, arm cocking phase, acceleration phase, and follow-through phase. From the moment of takeoff until striking the ball, the energy and angular momentum of the total body are conserved physical quantities. The approach spiking a volleyball consists of taking an approach to get in position to spike. Always plan and jump off 2 feet. The arm should be brought back and down as you approach. This is called a double arm action. The arm are then quickly brought forward and up. The purpose of this symmetrical double arm action is to increase the jump height and also get the hitter in position to hit. Next is the arm cocking. Refer to the action of the arm as the hitter is swinging to hit the ball. The arm action is much like a bow and arrow movement. Next is the arm acceleration, and the last one is the follow-through phase. So the spike is a movement that you will push the ball to the opponent place as high as you can to earn the point, so that your opponent cannot hit back the ball and you will earn a point for your team.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mama Biomechanics Adalim from class R144A with the number 203082144. So next is about the basic concept spiking techniques in volleyball. So a volleyball spike or attack is the strategy used to send the ball over the net to the opponent in such manner that ball is not returnable. So the spike is performed by moving the arm in such way that you angle the ball to land on the ground of your opponent's side of the court. Usually a spike is hitting with great force at a downward angle. The spike technique will shock the opponent by how fast the ball travels in such speed. So the picture below show how to do the spike in volleyball. So next is the spiking technique in volleyball. So to hit the ball harder, you just need to swing your arm faster. Stop working so hard on hitting the ball harder. Instead, focus on swinging your arm faster. When players go for hitting harder, they tighten up the muscles in the shoulder girdle and will not unleashing their fastest arm swing. The quandary is when you first start to swing faster or as fast as you can, you are not as accurate. The idea here is to get a feeling of how fast you can really swing. If accuracy is not a worry, that is the swing you want when you are in the air spiking. So next is how you do the spiking training. So coaches spend their life begging the hitters to stay off the net. That is due in large part of the tradition of hitting on the net. Below show the step to train the spike technique. So first, practice wiping the block with the coach. Second, aim straight ahead with your spiking arm, follow through. 3. Practice wiping the block at home with the ball against your garage. 4. Aim and hit standing 4 feet away from the spot. 5. Mix up your shot, especially in long rallies. 6. Watch where the opposing team in defense when you are in the back row on defense. And lastly, learn to own the middle of the opposing team court. So the picture show the wiping block technique. And also the spiking technique can also be learned, be training at home by. There is also some method to train the spike or ball strike stroker to opponent, which is the homemade which is the spiking trainer. So the spike trainer is the best homemade or sport equipment for volleyball athlete to training smoothly to enhance the spiking technique. So the picture below show on how you do the homemade spiking training, spiking trainer.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. My name is Muhammad Hafiz bin Mubakar. My metric number is 200821-844. Okay, for this part, I will continue for this part, which is class analysis or the movement performance criteria. Okay, one of the foremost vital aspects of volleyball is the spiking strategy. This is requires players to perform certain motor behaviors beneath foreordained circumstances, whereas staying to the rules and which players from the other group show. Running, hopping and spiking have two fundamental destinations, which is ball speed and precision. To decrease the probability that the opponent will caught the shot, the ball must travel with the most velocity and accuracy conceivable. So, one of the foremost vital components of team volleyball is spiking to get the points. Okay, the spiking voyage re-award at the same time. The greatest inflection point happened, which was a simple occasion to watch. The interval between the conclusion of the arm cooking stage and ball discharge is known as the arm increasing speed stage, while correlates with the period of rising ball discharge speed. The remove between the ball's middle and the hand marker was decided to set up when the ball was discharged. At the ball discharge, there is an abrupt rise within the remove between the ball's middle and the hand marker. For measurement assessment, execution ball discharge speed, body tallness and weight, maximum revolution precise speed, maximum flexion and expansion precise speed, precise speed at the ball discharge, and were all utilized in all factual examinations. Okay, for this part, which is the muscle bonds and the bonds improvement. Okay, for the muscle improvement, for the upper body muscles, your upper body is where a lot of essential volleyball action happens. Your biceps and forearms engage to move your arms during any ball hitting action like the serve or receiving, setting, passing and spiking. Your chest engages during forceful forward and upward movements, which the full range of motion your arms go through in a game. The fact that you engage your shoulder muscle is no surprise. They even work with your back muscles to keep your arm from moving back when blocking a ball. Uh, Strong back muscles such as the scapulostabilizers around your shoulder blades help with arm movement and stabilization, and the latissimus dorsi muscles, which run down your back from just below the shoulder blades to your waist. Okay, for the leg muscle, your leg muscles are your foundation when you play volleyball. You will recruit all of them at one point or another during the game. Your calf, quadriceps, hamstrings, gluteus and hip flexors are all essential for running, but they also play a vital part in quick, explosive jumps. Strong leg muscle give you the power you need to elevate your jumps for effective jump serve, setting, spiking and also blocking. Okay, for the joint improvement, lower body joints. In this part, you will do a lot of running and jumping during a game of volleyball. Flexible ankles help you to pivot and turn quickly without incurring an injury. Running also requires flexible and also the limber hips, knees and ankle joints to pick up your legs and put them down where you want them. For the upper body joints, all the interaction with the volleyball itself requires some movement from your shoulder joint, whether you're serving, setting, passing or spiking. Your elbow joints lock or bend depending on which way you're trying to hit the ball. The wrist joints play a part too, flexing or bracing to serve, receive a serve, pass the ball to a team member, or block a spike. While in bonds improvement, the bonds allow us to have the ability to play any sports, including volleyball. Specifically, in a volleyball spike, athlete make contact with the ball via the carpals and phalanges, which is the short bonds in the hand, going up the arm to the radius and ulna. Lastly, a long bond being the humerus connecting up to the shoulder. Okay, in this part, which is the form of the motion in which we know in human biomechanics, laws of motion play a significant role. Meanwhile, the volleyball spike is a complex motion that can be characterized in four phases, which is approach phase, arm cooking phase, acceleration phase, and also the follow-through phase. From the moment of takeoff until striking the ball, energy and momentum of the total body are conserved. Physical quantities. When you spike a volleyball, you will have the opportunity to deliver a crushing offensive blow to your opponent. When spiking, you exert a downward force on the ball so that it falls rapidly on the opponent's sides of the court, making it very difficult for your opponent to return the ball. Gravity works in your favor when you spike, because it also exerts a downward force that makes the ball fall into the court floor. For this reason, you do not necessarily have to exert tremendous downward force to spike effectively, because gravitational force is also acting on the ball in the same direction. Okay, for this part, which is the class level system. A serve is a class 3 level, which the force located between the fulcrum, which is the shoulder joint, and also the load, which is the ball. Bones, tendons, and muscles are the structures that shape levels within the body to make human movement. In straightforward terms, a joint, where two or more bones connect together, shapes the pivot or the support, and the muscles closing the joint apply the constraint to move a weight or resistance. When a muscle is joined to the skeleton, so the nature and location of the association will decide the drive, speed, and run of development delivered. The drive, speed, or heading of development delivered by muscle withdrawal can be altered by joining the muscle to a lever. The force applied to the ball can be increased by lengthening the lever, so the taller players have a slight advantage when it comes to generating the applied force to the ball.
Assalamualaikum and hi.
So 8.0 torque characteristic in skill performance. Torque can be rotational impact made by an unpredictable drive. So the drive turn impact is decided by the minute of drive on the body on which it works. Muscle make torque in spiking procedures abilities in volleyball. The minute of control depends on the greatness of the constraint and the remove from the hub of revolution. Utilizing human creatures for sport abilities requires a number of lifts, such as the execution of this expertise, which is hop spiking the ball, including the bear joint, elbow joint, and wrist joint. So next is 9.0, which is frame segment or sequence of movement. So a frame segment is a picture division that handle a portioning and advanced picture into numerous sections. The objective of division is to rearrange or alter the representation of an image into something that's more significant and less demanding to analyze. A frame segment is ordinarily utilized to find objects and boundaries. More absolutely, outline fragment is the method of ruling out a name of each pixel in the picture, such as the pixel with the same label share certain characteristics. Frame segment can make the explore simpler, since each picture of a competitor during the hop spiking can effectively be turned into an explore. The picture is captured from the approach phase, the arm cocking phase, the arm acceleration phase, and the follow-through phase. So fragment segment works is when a competitor is doing activity or expertise, the development of the competitor can be seized in each movement. Each movement or development that the competitor doing the hot spike had was captured.
My name is Muhammad Shafiq bin Muhammad Haris. Now I'm gonna share about kinematic and kinetic analysis of sport skill. Now is subject details. First subject is Donald Hui, which is 33 years old and also an athlete. His position is offensive, while the other is Amir Farhan, which is 22 years old and also a novice, and he is also offensive in offensive position. Next is the purpose of the analysis, which is for the purpose is volleyball spike, and to analyze the technique that used by the subject, and also to identify the strength and weakness in spiking, and measure the speed of the ball during the spiking. Now I'm gonna show about the position of the camera, and the position is located at left of the subject in about 3 meters to record the lateral side of the subjects. And we are using camera from iPhone 13 and tripod to hold the camera in order to get the clearer video and less error when recording the subjects. Next is kinematic and kinetic properties of the skill. And kinematic is the study of the motion of mechanical point, bodies and systems without consideration of their associated physical properties and the force acting on them. The study is often referred as geometry of motion, and it models this motion mathematically using algebra. First is the range of motion, and second is center of gravity. In the process of takeoff in such as spike, stability of the gravity center of human body determine the athlete spike quality. And last is acceleration. A spike volleyball create an external force that sting your hand when you stop it, but your hand hurt even more when you stop the ball hit by a different, stronger opponent. The harder hit ball, higher acceleration rate result in stronger net external force. For the kinetic, in contrast to kinematics, does consider physical properties such as the mass of the bodies or the force driving them. Kinetic is logically deducted from kinematic by the way of algebraic calculation of physical properties and force. Kinetic takes into account physical force and properties, including material properties like rigidity and tensile or compressive strengths. Next is muscle torque, which is force which involve every muscle joint center in the body to produce force in movement. Now we're gonna share about strength and weakness of the recorded skill performance. Spiking is a crucial technique in a sport of volleyball. Volleyball players usually perform volleyball spiking with combined movement of three-step approach: running, counter movement, jumping, and hitting the ball straight down on the other side of the net. The approach running spike jump (RSJ) is often practiced in volleyball training program to enhance jumping performance required for volleyball players. And the weakness for non-athlete volleyball in spiking, which is injuries can occur in the spike technique if the spike technique incorrect. This is due to they do not use proper technique for spiking in volleyball games. Wrong jump and landing can cause injury. Lastly is result and analysis. The result and analysis that we had already collected are the skill of or the movement that involved in volleyball skill, which is spike. If you are right-handed, your approach should be left foot to right foot to left foot, and vice versa if you are left-handed. The purpose of the first step is to pick up the speed and cover the distance. And for the second step is also to build up a speed and cover distance depending on where it is the ball. You should just adjust the distance of this step. And along with the third step, swing your arm behind you so you can rush them with the last step to gain the momentum and extra inches. Then cuff hip up and swing at the ball and keeping your hand open in order to have maximum contact. And always follow through with your arm to finish off it. And when the result has been complete, the spike skill can be improved in terms of biomechanics to get a better skill for athlete performance in volleyball.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Khairul Ikhwami Qasim. So I will present the steps to maximizing the skill performance. So the first one is you need to get into the position. You must be a front low player. The second step is you must watch the center. The center position player will set the ball height in your direction such that falls near the net in a position that will allow you to easily spike it to the other side. The third step is you take the proper stance with your back to the ball and your knees bent so you have prepared to move. And next, your left foot should be further apart from your right foot if you are a right-handed person, and if you are a left-handed person, place your right foot behind your left foot. Next, take your first step toward the ball and take a strong first step with your left foot in the direction of the ball. Next is take a second powerful step. Step your right foot to build speed at the same time. Swing your arms back behind you to prepare for the strike. Next is take a final step to square your feet. Step again with your left foot and end with your feet shoulder width apart and your knees bent. Your arms should be swung behind you, and then you jump explosively upward and swing your arms toward at the same time to jump high into the air. And next, rear your hand back to strike. Your arms should swing above your head as you ascend to the height of your jump. Last is use the middle of your hand to strike the ball. Maintain an open hand with your fingers touching to quickly move your hand toward the ball and make contact. And next, rotate your arm at the shoulder and thrust your forearm forward. to add top spin and send the ball to your opponent's court and then stack your wrist downward. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, for the conclusion, as we know that in conclusion, which doing skill analysis, we are able to distinguish and correct any mistakes to move forward execution. By identifying, we are able to know that the mistakes that we made while performing the expertise, either in terms of range of motion, quality, speeding up, constraint of the torque or the muscle torque. As the blunders has been distinguished, we are able to make a change to rectify all the mistakes and the increment the execution. Second, we must know our qualities and our weaknesses when performing the abilities. The weakness can influence the athlete's execution, where it can cause the wrong heading target and can have an awful effect on the athlete's execution. Other than knowing the athlete's quality from the athlete's quality from the expertise investigation makes the competitor simple to prepare within the way the expertise is performed. Subsequently, it is critical to know the strengths and weaknesses so we are able to dissect the proper procedure to perform the skills in these sports. Last but not least, we are able to distinguish the most extreme momentum to deliver more speed when spiking the ball. The drive from inside and external will influence the speed of the ball, which implies the most extreme force depends on all of the muscle torque to deliver the ball speed when we spiking. So we are able to know how much most extreme momentum the athletes can accomplish. As we can conclude, skill analysis may be exceptionally vital device to improve our performance. So that's all from us for this task analysis in the volleyball, which is we perform a spiking technique. So thank you for watching and hope we will meet soon together. Thank you.